Only other thoughts, you suck at PvP and you're just raging and you just want PvP. Hey guys, what is up? Awesome Sauce here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and today we are gonna talk about top spells right now in PvP that desperately need a nerf. I get it, alright? There's a lot of people who are really opposed to nerfs because they win using strategies that basically abuse a lot of the spells nowadays and think that anyone who calls for a nerf is just a salty kid raging. And you know what, as true as it might be, I still think this is a really valid video to make. You know, because at the end of the day, if you want to make PvP more balanced, you gotta make it so that some schools don't always just have an advantage just because of the spells that they're given. Now, for the purpose of this video, I am not gonna be talking about Shadow Enhanced hits. In my opinion, Shadow Enhanced hits in general are all pretty broken. They just do too much damage for too little pips. And when you combine them with some spells and some combos are literally unstoppable, I think those are a whole other realm of problem. But what this video is going to be about is non-Shadow Enhanced hits that I think are broken. So without further ado, my mans, let's go right into number 5. Shrike. Shrike is still one of the most broken spells in the game, for one. But two, it's one of those things that really is just like, it's gotten worse over time. So I really think that this video needs to be made. Shrike has 50 Pierce on it, which is more than enough to ravage through any resist you have, and it should have some kind of punishment attached to it. There's no punishment anymore. At one point, they used to make it so that the lowest you could get was 10% backlash, and at least that was punishment. There's no drawback for using Shrike anymore, especially if you're a school that can hit and trap. There are schools right now like Fire that normally, if there was 10% backlash, they would actually face consequences for it, but now they don't. In my opinion, I think Shrike should be guaranteed to give you at least 20% backlash, or the Pierce should be reduced. I think this nerf is really needed, especially if KingsIsle decides to do nothing about the Shadow Enhanced hits. There has to be major drawbacks, that this is not just something that you just do the second you get a Shadow Pip. Right now, there's no consequences for doing this if you have a stun block on. Zero. And that is why this is one of the most broken spells. There's no reason not to use it, and that's why everyone uses it, and everyone just hits with it, and everyone wins no matter what. There's no sense of skill with this spell in the game the way it is. Now, the reason I'm staying on my Fire Wizard is because number 4 is also a fire spell. Now, Fire actually has a lot of ways to be super overpowered. They have a lot of options. They have Fuel, they have Fire Beetle, they have FFA, they have all kinds of things that can give traps. And because of the way Shrike is right now, you can literally do any of these into a hit, and you're almost guaranteed a win from first. Unless you're going against someone who's really good, you're probably not going to lose from first. And the reason for that right now is because of Burning Rampage. Now, all of these trap spells make Fire a really unique school. I get it. But Burning Rampage is still one, if not the most broken spells in the game, and I really think it needs a nerf. Now, the way I would do a nerf is, in my opinion, Burning Rampage should be doing the hit more than 2 rounds later, or if it does get casted from first, for example, then it shouldn't do it 2 rounds later, it should do it 3 rounds later. I just think the problem that I have with Burning Rampage right now is that if you're second to Burning Rampage and someone does it, there is 0 ways to counter it. You cannot triage it by the time it's cast on you. You can't shift it. You can't do anything that a PvP wizard would normally be able to do. There's no way to react to the spell. And because of that, there's no drawbacks to using and spamming Burning Rampage. My issue with it is actually not from second. If you use this from second, the person from first does have a round to react to it. It's not a broken spell from second. So maybe if there's a way to ban it from first, or maybe add another round to it from first, then maybe I could get behind Burning Rampage. Right now, because it doesn't have any counters, it needs to have a nerf. I love the mechanic, but I think the 2-round thing does not work well when you're first with it. The next spell is something that I feel like a lot of people in the community have been arguing about, have been complaining about, and really, I don't think anything's being done. And this is a spell that not all wizards actually use if you're Life. Unfortunately, if you want to abuse a mechanic, you are able to use it. Guardian Spirit is right now one of the most broken spells in the game. It needs to be nerfed. Right now, the problem with Guardian Spirit is twofold. One, the 15% health that you get back, the 15%, it still uses your healing stats. So that 15% will be added, will be multiplied by 54%. Do the math, and you're coming out with about 22% health. If you crit that, then you get even more, and you come back with close to 50% health. The problem with Guardian Spirit is that it doesn't even do what it's advertised to do. It shouldn't be based on your healing boost. It should give you 15% of your health, and that's it. If it could do that, then maybe I could understand why it would be in the game. It should be a second chance, but it shouldn't be an abusable thing that keeps on bringing you back to life just so you can put it on all over again. Another thing that I have a serious problem with is how many times you can use it. Now, if you were to nerf it the way I suggested, then maybe I would allow it to be like capped at 3 times per game or something. But if you don't, then it should not be a thing that you're allowed to use more than once in a game. I'm not trying to like eliminate a whole strategy here, but it's borderline abusive, especially if you're first with Guardian Spirit, to literally not even fight somebody and just keep on coming back to life. That's what people do. There's a reason Juju was nerfed. This falls under the exact same category. People aren't using the spell to actually fight as much anymore. They're just using it to abusively stay alive and hope their opponent flees. There are memes about this following spell, and I know you guys have seen it in the past. Need I say more? Need I say more? This is definitely really a problematic spell right now, mainly because it does so much for so little. And I definitely think that if not for lore, Balance would not be a competitive PvP school, and that's bad. It shouldn't be one spell ever that defines your ability to win, because all people are going to do is spam it. And the problem with lore right now is that not only is the accuracy debuff, in my opinion, way too high, the damage is way too high. I think I really like the idea of a -20 weakness, because if you were to use it several times, there are strategies where you could actually make somebody not be able to hit as hard, you know, and I like that. However, the accuracy is just not necessary. Now, I understand if you want to have something accuracy related, I think at the most it should be -25%. And even if you were to do that nerf, I still think it needs a damage debuff. And the reason I say that is because for 4 pips, right? For 4 pips, you really shouldn't be able to do as much as you're able to do. Judgment should be, right, the standard for how much you can do with 4 pips, right? Now, Lore Master at a bare minimum already does that, and it adds things to it. There's no reason for you to use Judgment at 4 pips because of this spell, and that's bad. There's no balance in the school of balance. You know, I sound like a Chakra Master, but you know what? Put that in a yearbook. Again, there's a lot of problems with balance, including Mana Burn and Supernova. I definitely think, maybe Supernova's fine, but Mana Burn's definitely one of those that, like, I don't know. I'm not sure it really should do what it does, but you know, at least right now in the current meta, I don't think it's overpowered. Lore, on the other hand, obviously overpowered. There's no reason not to use this when you have 4 spells, and that's why it's a broken spell, seriously. Any spell that presents itself as the only option is clearly too overpowered at its price. Now, in my opinion, this is actually surprisingly the worst spell in the entire bunch, and it is the oldest spell, if I'm not mistaken, on this entire list. And this is a spell that's been around since Celestia came out, and I still don't understand why it's so darn powerful. Ifrit is too OP. And I know there's a lot of fire wizards. By the way, every time I talk trash about fire wizards, they try to, like, I don't know, they try to, like, overthrow me. I don't know, they stage a rebellion. I don't know, bro. But the problem is, y'all get too much. I have a fire. I know this. But you know how easy it was for me to get to Warlord on this wizard? Ignore the win to loss, alright? The second I got to this level, like, it was easy. Like, literally, the meta just favors fire wizards way too much, and that's the problem. It literally does too much damage to justify it giving a -90 spell. Alright, other spells that give -90, like Juju right now, take a quarter of your health off. So why is it that fire can just do this with so little repercussions? 8 pips is not that much. In my opinion, the Ifrit pip cost should definitely go up. Honestly, a lot of these spells could be fixed. Lore could be fixed by doing that. Ifrit could be fixed doing that. Burning Rampage could be fixed doing that. Even Shrike, if it was worth 2 Shadow pips, maybe it could justify the way it acts. Ifrit 100% needs to be 9 pips. There's no reason why you should be able to do 2 Ifrits in a row at full pips. I've seen people do it. There's no reason why you should be able to do that. It does way too much for the -90, and I don't think anyone's really arguing this. People just don't say anything about it. Now, the reason I made this video is mainly because I actually came home late today, and I just wanted to put zero effort into a Blaze Lifehammer style video. Nah, but seriously, I just really wanted to make this video because I feel like a lot of people have been saying this in the community, and it would be nice to just compile it all into one video so that people can see it and see if people agree or not. You know what I'm saying, dude? But yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what spells you think in PvP should be nerfed. Do you think these spells should be nerfed outside of PvP too? What spells would those be if you had those in mind? Let me know, my man. Thank you for all your helpful comments. Make sure you let me know what you know, because, you know, I really want to know. My mans, make sure you drop a like if you enjoyed. Leave a sub if you're new. There's tons of links in the description. Thank you guys for all the love on the videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Somebody has not told you you're awesome today. They doing something wrong, so stay awesome, bruh. And yeah.